Disabled parking abuse is a universal problem. It's in every county in Texas, it's in every state in the union. Having one of those placards myself, it's not just a convenience, it's a necessity for my way of life. Many times it means that I can do the things I need to do without help versus having to ask someone to help me.
I have a father-in-law who was injured in an accident a few years ago, and I don't think I ever really paid attention to what it took to get him around until we went to dinner one night when he was visiting and there was no parking. And that was probably the difference between us being able to eat or not, because we couldn't park a mile away and have him walk. It just wasn't possible.
18% of our population are people with disabilities, and only 4% of our parking is set aside specifically for their needs, and a quarter of that is being abused at any given time.
Most people want to do what's right. They unthinkingly park illegally in a parking spot. We see a lot of this at our government center. People just trying to run in for a minute or whatever. Or they have a nice new car and they don't want to get it scratched, so they park it in a handicapped parking place. Parking mobility makes sense because we're trying to make handicapped parking available to those who need it. It makes sense because it's a program that doesn't focus on enforcement as much as it does on education. There's grace involved.
One of the most impactful things that Parking Mobility discussed with us was that they hoped that someday their program wouldn't be needed, that we would solve the problem and we wouldn't have to be enforcing anything anymore.
I would hope that other county and city governments would adopt the program because it just makes sense and it's the right thing to do.